Thank you very much for coming to my presentations. I would like to introduce myself. My name is Yukie Saito, and I have been working for Chuo University. So today's topic is reflecting online English classes with EdTech. So as every teacher tried to do it, so I also had to teach English classes online at several universities, which was pretty challenging. But at the same time, so reflecting the spring semester, I can think that it was a valuable experience for me. This is the outline of today's presentation. So first, I would like to talk about the background of the class. Secondly, I will talk about the three major tasks of the course. Thirdly, I will talk about challenges I faced during the course. Fourthly, so I would like to talk about my reflection of the course based on a questionnaire survey, which is collected from my student. Finally, so as a summary, I would like to talk about my future journey to teach English in the new era. First, so I'd like to explain about the background of the course. Teaching context, I'm in charge of one leading class for 35 freshmen at a private university. It was a one-year course in the spring semester and the fall semester in 2020. I think the English level is intermediate, and so we use the textbook titled 21st Century Reading for. So the textbook deals with topics from TED Talks. And I think so as I mentioned, so the spring semester was challenging for every teacher, and at the same time, it was very challenging for university students, and also I think it was very challenging for my students too. So, but at the same time, I wanted them to think positively, and I wanted them to be resilient. And so I decided to send a message to my student. So in the first class, first I say that I want them to be a global visionary person. And to do so, I want to, so I say that I want them to use English as a tool for global communication. And also, I think it was inevitable for students to use IT effectively to take English classes. And also, I think in this modernized IT, like global society, IT-oriented global society, using IT is very important. So that's why I say that let's use IT effectively, which is an important skill in the 21st century. And so I also say that I want them to propose a solution to solve problems in the world. And I think there are many problems so in the world, including issues which are related to COVID-19. So I wanted them to think about how they can solve lots of problems in the world. And this is the objectives of the course. So I did not read out everything, but I would like to point out several important parts. So once again, so use English as a tool for global communication, think critically and objectively, and convey their thought and ideas in an organized manner through peer work, discussions, and presentation in English. Use technology such as PCs effectively. So this is the objective of the course. And so I will explain about the classes. So I will explain about the classes so I conducted in the spring semester. So I used the learning management system for like a play assignment, vignette tests, reports, and a presentation. And also I used Zoom so for discussion and presentations. And learning management system is also used for post assignment or for submitting reports for students. And now I would like to talk about the three major tasks of the course. The first task was for students to have a lot of active discussions. So as I mentioned, they had to prepare for classes by doing a lot assignment from the textbook. I set up quizzes on the learning management system based on their understanding. So they made a discussion in breakout rooms on Zoom in the main activity. So it was a main activity in the class. So to have a discussion effectively, so I asked them to make a facilitator and a reporter. The reporter was to share the summary of the discussion in the main room. And for example, so I will explain about the first major task in more detail. So example of discussion question based on reading a score in the cloud in the textbook. So I prepared for 5 discussion questions, as you can see on the slide. So such as have you ever had a mentor? How did he or she help you? The second discussion question was, what kind of facilities do you think are most important for a university? So as I mentioned, in a breakout room, so they made a discussion. This shows one example of the first major task. So now I would like to talk about the second major task. So students want to make an individual TED Talk presentation in a breakout room on Zoom. So, and I asked them to choose their favorite TED Talk, and they had to explain a reason why they chose the talk, and they also made a summary of the talk, and they also prepared for 2 discussion questions. And as a final remark, they made a conclusion of the talk, of the TED Talk. And so I asked them to make a presentation for 10 minutes, including the time for the discussion. So the time for the discussion question was for the presenter as a facilitator to have as a student to discuss the question. So I wanted them to be a facilitator as well as a presenter in this task. So now, for the second major task, I will explain about, so I will share one example from my student TED Talk presentation. One student chose a TED Talk titled, "Forget Shopping, Soon You Will Download Your New Clothes." And she made a summary. Of course, she also included the reason why she chose this talk, and also made a summary of the talk. And so she prepared for the discussion questions such as, are you particular about clothes? Would you be happy if you can make your clothes with 3D printer? So the talk was related to 3D printer. And so she asked other students to express their opinions about the discussion questions the student prepared for. And as a final remark, she said, the most important thing is how to apply the great technology. So all of the students did this individual presentation to explain about their favorite talk, TED Talk. And finally, I would like to talk about the last major task. So students were to make a 10-minute group presentation. So, and they were encouraged to make proposal of a new service or a product to solve problems, such as problems related to COVID-19 in the society or in the world. In the presentation, they included the company's name, background to support the need of the service or product, and what service or product they would like to provide, and a uniqueness about their new business or service. I will explain one group's presentation. So one group made their service names Happilies. This is a subscription service for an app to offer comedies. So they also made a corporate philosophy. So make even the fewest moments of your life happy. And the characteristics of this service are like an AI system chooses the best comedy. You can enjoy comedy with smartphones anytime, anywhere. And it can be beneficial for comedians. So they explained the last one because they say that the last part is very important because the comedians have been losing the opportunity to perform their comedy. So they want to do something for comedians too. And so this is one student voice from the group. So I will not read out everything, but so I will read like a bolded part. There were many classmates good comments. So I think it was good to prepare our presentation early with the members of the same group. So I encouraged them to prepare for their group presentation outside of the class using Zoom, and most of the groups prepared for their group presentations using Zoom. So it was very impressive. So they were able to work collaborate with other students even outside of the class. So, but actually, there were lots of challenges. So I had to overcome during the course. So, but here I would like to talk about two main challenges. So the first one was, so I thought I would like to use Google Classroom. So I set up a Google Classroom for this class, and I started using it, and I asked my student to log in like Google Classroom. However, so many students were not able to log in because they used different email address. They were required to use a university address and university email address to log in, but many students didn't do that, and constantly I had to accept their permission. I had to permit their request. So there were several minor issues related to the use of Google Classroom. So I thought it would be easier and for a student to use an learning management system that the university adapts, because so for other classes students using the learning management system that the university adapts. Since I was not able to see my student in person, and I thought using the learning management system that university adapts would be much easier for a student. So that is a main challenge. And I also set up too many assignments, and so I was not sure how much homework I should give them initially. And the student, so in the middle of the spring semester, student looked very tired, and I asked several students and so about their assignment, and I got a feedback that so they had received, they got lots of assignment from other classes. And so I decided to reduce assignment, and after that, of course, still so they had to work on several assignments, but after that they looked more comfortable and a little bit relaxed. So that was a second challenge I faced, and so I had to deal with this challenge too. So, however, so I think the class went pretty well thanks to my student, and so I really say that so they worked very hard. Yeah. And so now I'd like to talk about my reflection of the course based on a questionnaire survey. So the objective of the course So was able to use English as a tool for global communication and think critically and objectively and conveying their thought and ideas in organized manner through pair work discussions and presentations in English, and to use technology such as PCs effectively. So I made a question survey, so with a reference to kind of descriptors of CEFR and CEFR Companion Volume. I did not read out which descriptors I used, but please take a look at the slides. And also used like skills of information literacy and ICT literacy in 21st century skills. Also, self-regulated learning theory by Zimmerman. I conducted the questionnaire survey at the end of the spring semester, and so as I mentioned, there were 35 students and 28 students responded. I would like to talk about summary of the results. So the first one is they say that they can work collaborate. Many of the students think that they can work collaborate with other students by giving support, asking questions, and compare options. And also, so they can collaborate online with a group that is working on a group project. So it's related to the use of technology. So they can locate necessary information on the internet to complete tasks, can organize, synthesize the collected information to complete tasks. So most of the students are pretty confident using technology. And also they pretty confident using Zoom to take part in online classes actively. And so they also think that they can make a group presentation with other members on Zoom. Actually, it was pretty impressive that the students think that they can work, they can make a group presentation using Zoom, so with other students. So, which means that they can work collaboratively, even in online classes using Zoom. So now I would like to make a summary of the presentation. So as I mentioned so I faced several challenges, such as changing learning management systems, giving lots of assignments, and also I faced several issues. So I need to figure out how I can solve these issues. And but that's it. At the same time, I think the spring semester was a good challenging for me because I can see lots of possibility using Zoom for online classes. In the fourth semester, I will continue to teach English classes online using Zoom. But in the future, I think I hope we can go back to classrooms and I can conduct face-to-face classes. But so I would like to continue to conduct English classes based on what I learned in the spring semester. So this shows the summary. So before class, so they can prepare for assignments. So I can set up pre-assignments, mini tests, reports, and presentation. And so before class, a student make a discussion or a student make a preparation for their group presentation. So I'd like to encourage them to use it effectively for collaborative work. In classes, so based on what they did, so in pre-assignment, so they will have active discussion and make a presentation. And using learning management systems, they can work on post assignments and reports. So as I mentioned it, through English classes, I want them to be able to use English as a tool for global communication. At the same time, I really want them to improve their ICT skills in English classes, because without ICT skills, I think it's impossible to implement English classes anymore. And for students, it's difficult to take English classes without ICT skills. That's why. And this can be applied to skills which will be needed in the 21st century. And also, I would like to consider like a self-regulated learning, flipped learning, cooperative learning, and active learning for better and effective teaching and learning. So this is a summary of my future journey to teach English in the new era. So this is a reference. And thank you very much for listening to my talk.